passion for art came from Disney animation. I grew up going to Disneyland throughout my childhood. I love old Disney films, especially during the 90s when they had the renaissance of Disney animation. That's when I really fell in love with it. I've worked in animation for 20 years. I started as an animation artist for Walt Disney Feature Animation. I just came out of school at the right time where I was able to land a job almost right after I graduated high school. So I worked on Hercules, Mulan was the second film, Tarzan, and the last one I worked on was The Emperor's New Groove. So Unhappily Ever After just kind of combined like all my passions, like my love for animation, for Disney art, and then also for the conceptual art, with mostly like art that has a voice and has a message behind it. I felt like I was able to mold these characters into like the messages that were important to me. The rich culture and catalog of characters really lend itself to all these issues that we have in the world. It's kind of fascinating to me that it was like these cartoon characters that are fictionalized that makes us care about these issues at hand. If we see an image of just a random person suffering the same issues, I don't think we would have the same emotional response. I think art can be a powerful tool in spreading messages, people's ideas, and how much power it can have. I'm definitely very influenced by like a lot of like graffiti and street art. Became a fan of people like Shepard Fairey and Banksy by taking their art into their own hands and really spreading it around freely, like on the walls of buildings, and like just putting their message out there regardless of galleries, systems, or whatnot. For a graffiti artist to take their art to the streets, the whole world is their audience. So I really grew up listening to like a lot of punk rock. I became a fan of bands like Propagandhi, Hot Watered Music, Jawbreaker. The part about punk that speaks to me, it's all about like community, it's about like equality, treating people the same, and not really holding judgment about what they look like or who they identify with. It really informs my philosophy. It's the way I treat people. Like, I feel at home when I go to punk shows. And so it's like art. Like, music is also a very powerful tool to get their message across. I found this image of Cinderella in a torn dress. When her stepsisters tear her dress apart and like she's in tatters, almost immediately I saw her taken from her home and into just a dirty alleyway. So many crimes in New York City that are rapes. It's something that everyone has to be mindful of. She follows a white rabbit into this rabbit hole and finds this whole new world. And so I just really wanted to like show her as like more gaunt and more like addicted than we might expect her in the movie itself. The reason drugs are so prevalent in our lives is because we use it as like an escape mechanism to get away from our own real problems. And it's something that I'm sure a lot of people face. I kind of used Belle as the character of going through plastic surgery, because in the story, in the film, she's very smart, she's intellectual, and that's what made her different from the other girls. But I feel like in the real world, she would succumb to the bombardment of social expectations, and she would go and get plastic surgery to like make her feel beautiful. New York City, everyone's almost like a statistic. There's always the next person after you, especially with a lot of the new like dating apps like Tinder and whatnot. Like, everyone can meet a new person like almost immediately. If one date didn't go well, you can go right back onto your app and like find a new person. And I feel like everyone's a number here. Everyone's like not really a person anymore. Dating's become like a disposable asset. Arial coming off of this beach, it's covered in oil. And for me, it was like a powerful image in my head that I just like saw very clearly. I felt like the images of this boy washing ashore was very powerful. Driftwood is a response to the Syrian refugee boy that washed ashore. I picked Pinocchio because he represents almost like every child, every boy in humanity. Call something driftwood was, to me, powerful because like it conveys a sense of something that's trash and is disposable and forgotten. So, and I feel that's how a lot of people are seeing these refugees. Like, they are like the forgotten people. I actually called this piece 101 Euthanations. People buying from puppy mills and not really adopting dogs. They would like go to breeders. It also feeds into the idea that people want what they want. We took everything from their culture and stripped them of it, and now they're living a life that was not theirs. And to make up for it, we try to give them these casinos to like give back to their community, but it's not the solution at all. We're heading down the wrong road right now. We're very much about ourselves and like about consuming and taking from the environment and not really putting things back where they should be. We don't really think about the future, we think about the now. And I really want Unhappily Ever After to have people to look at an image and step back and take a step and look at what they're doing, causing such an effect around the world that they might not think about. Every small step that people can take, it adds up to a bigger chain. I feel like my message is just like living a life where we think about the actions that we do have a consequence. Treating someone behind them like they want to be treated, like opening the door for someone behind them. That's to me is like the most important message. It's still a journey for me. Like I don't even know where I'm going from this.